right, this is going to be the tutorial for Ants of the Seven Seas rhythm section. Let's get something out of the way first. What I'm doing up here is raking my pick across the strings behind the nut. So what we have to understand is, and some people call this the third bridge kind of sound that you're going to hear on guitars like jazz masters, in which people will actually rake their pick across back there in shoegaze type of style of music, and in which there's basically creating different types of soundscapes and different types of sounds. And you can see that we actually have a mute on this, and that's so that it doesn't resonate, because when you're playing, it actually rings out different pitches that are sometimes dissonant with what you're actually doing. That said, a lot of people try to mitigate that noise. In this song, I wanted to be able to make that type of noise extra and make it actually an effect in the song. So that's what this is. Now, what this is doing is that there's actually technically another guitar back here, or another instrument, if you will, that has its own pitches. So if you're looking at the tab and you see that crazy high numbered frets that are not possible either on your acoustic or even on an electric with a 24 fret guitar, it goes way past that. That is what this is doing. And this is just to match the pitch of what it is that my acoustic does. Now, it is also worth noting that every guitar is going to be different, because the length between the nut and the tuning pegs are going to differ from guitar to guitar. So just be aware of it. It may not sound exact, but you'll still get the same exact effect. All right, now, all of that said, let's go over the chords. The chords for this are going to be A minor, D minor, F major, C major, E major, and G major. Be aware that I do in the demo play an F major this way, which is just the same thing as the F that I played here earlier, but I'm just adding in the fifth into the bass, which is going to be right here. That's it. So it's technically an F over C. So watch out for that. Now, what's happening with the rhythms is that we're going to start with an upstroke, and it's going to be all the strings open. Then we're going to hit the A minor. Then we're going to do that same thing another time. And then again. And then D minor. And then A minor. Then I'm going to come over here. Now watch. I'm going to take my hand. I'm going to bring it over the top of my fretting hand. Come over here, rake the nut. And then as I come back, I'm going to hit the open string to start it again. Okay, so like so. Also, I am putting a rhythmical chuck or downstroke here after I do the A minor. So when I go like that, I'm doing a rhythmical chuck. And how I do that is by lightly touching the strings to mute the string out. So when I strike the strings, it becomes a rhythmical chuck. Now, something also with some students, they have a hard time with that. You could do the ninja chop, where you just drop your hand down onto the strings if you wanted to. It's not as effective, but it still gets the point across. We're going to do all of that 2 times. That should sound like this. After all that, we're going to go back to the A minor with the chucks. So it's going to go A minor, chuck, A minor, chuck. But then we're not going to do the A minor, D minor part. We're actually going to go A minor, C major, D minor, F major, A minor, E major, A minor, chuck. Then it goes and does the open strings with the upstroke, and then does A minor, G, does the F over C, and then I shift over to the E major. And then I do the open strings with the upstroke, A minor. And that is the rhythm for Ants of the Seven Seas. All right, this is going to be the tutorial for the melody of Ants of the Seven Seas. So let's get something out of the way from the very beginning. In the demo, the melody is being played with using octaves. So this whole sound is using octave shapes. And it's only the E-shaped octave pattern, in which there is a pattern that goes from the low E to the D string. And then that transfers in through the melody. If you're looking at the tab, it's going to be an individual single note. And I would recommend learning it that way first. The octave shapes are going to be a lot harder because you're doing more of a strum and you're muting out specific strings. As simple as the concept is, it's harder to execute and it's a little bit more frantic. We did that specifically so that the melody would cut through the mix a little bit better. Now, if you have any questions about how to be able to perform these octaves or to be able to learn these octave shapes, then you're going to need to check out Octavus Prime, which is an etude that I use for my students to be able to teach them octaves. The link will be in the description below. All right, without further ado, here's how you play the melody for Ants of the Seven Seas. Pay attention to the tab. We're going to start off with the open low E upstroke, and then a downstroke 5th fret low E with a slide away. We're going to do that twice. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the open low E, and then we're going to be doing the 5th fret low E, 7th fret low E, 8th fret low E, 7th fret low E, 5th fret low E, shift 3 on the low E, 5th fret low E with a slide away. That should sound like this. Okay, you can add a chuck in there to be able to emphasize the rhythmical chuck that the rhythm guitar is doing. And just to make sure we're on the same page, that's how it should sound on the tab. Or I'm sorry, that's how it will sound with the backing tracks and what is represented on the tab. However, in the demo, it sounds like this. As such. Now, the next part is going to repeat the beginning part, which is going to be the open low E and then 5th fret slide away 2 times. Then it's going to be a patterned walk up and walk down using the minor scale. The minor scale that we're going to use is the A minor scale starting here at the 5th fret of the low E. That minor scale is 5, 7, 8 on the low E, 5, 7, 8 on the A, and then 5, 7 on the D. Now, we're only going to use the low E and the A of that pattern. We're going to start with our pickup note, which is the open low E, and we're going to start our ascension. We're going to hit the 5th fret, 7th fret, and 8th fret of the low E. Then we're going to go back 1 note, which is at the 7th fret, low E, and we're going to ascend 3 notes. It's going to go 7, 8 on the low E, and then 5 on the A. Go back a note, which is the 8th fret of the low E, and then we're going to start that ascension, so it's the 8th fret, low E, 5 on the A, 7th fret A, go back a note, which is the 5th fret A, and then start the ascension, which is going to go from that 5th fret A to the 7th fret A, and then the 8th fret A. Now we're going to start our descending pattern, which only happens twice. It's going to go 7 on the A, 5 on the A, and then 8 on the low E. Go back a note, which is the 5th fret A, and then start your descending pattern of 3. It's going to go 5 on the A, 8 on the low E, 7 on the low E, and then you're going to hit the 5th fret low E and slide away. The last part of this is just going to be open low E, and then 5 on the low E, 3 on the low E, 1 on the low E, and then you're going to do the pickup note, open low E to the 5th fret, low E and slide away. And that is the melody for Ants of the Seven Seas.
We're hitting each other's...
I know, it's this...
How did we do this last time?
All right, ready? Hi, my name's Tom Rodriguez, and I am the author of Unlock Your Lute. This book deals with a simple approach to guitar fretboard mechanics and walks you through how to visualize music theory through chord structures. If you're interested in purchasing my book, you can head over to my website at unlockyourlute.com. If you're interested in joining the Unlock Your Lute community, head over to my Patreon. There you can get access to resources including tabs and backing tracks for this song and many more to come. Links are found in the description. Please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Also, remember to hit the bell icon if you want to be notified when new videos are uploaded. Don't be a stranger. If you have any questions, comment below.